Okay.
Hello. This is Ohime Free with ATL Africa Radio. Let's chat. Please share, like, and subscribe.
Hello, this is Ama Into. I am from Atlanta. And today's show is going to be about conflict resolution in love, marriages, and relationships. Ohima, over to you. Can you give me an experience you've heard about of how conflict resolution was effective in handling in a marriage, especially? How I know the common thing is women withholding sex from their husbands, or maybe men withholding financial resources from their wives. So how do you think we can handle or effectively manage that?
I don't think it is appropriate for a woman to hold sex from a man. One, marriage is a contract. Even if you're a boyfriend and a girlfriend, you have come to agreement to have that relationship. Men need sex. Women want sex. There is a great difference between that. To say you are angry with your husband or in disagreement, and because of that, you are holding sex is no. Because by law, it's against the law. So,
Okay, so
back to you.
yes, ma'am. So imagine someone does something. I didn't know, yeah, like it hurts so bad. He's cursed you out. You found something he did that you didn't like. I mean, can you honestly sleep with him under those circumstances? Like, I mean, you won't even enjoy it.
Women are emotional beings.
Yes, true.
Women go with their heart. And we women, we easily get hurt.
Yes.
Does it mean men don't get hurt?
Okay, so to piggyback off of that, well, men are logical beings. And for men, I feel, or I've heard, that sex is more of a biological need for them. So it's like basically going to the bathroom or, eating or something like that. So even if they feel hurt or they don't feel hurt, that need is still going to be fulfilled. And I think when, as a woman, if you're not in the sex 100% because you're feeling some type of resentment or some type of issue that's not been resolved, the man might probably cheat. I know this is controversial, but
It is controversial, and it does happen in every marriage. Nothing can change that. But you mentioned conflict resolution.
yes. How do we resolve
You
this?
have to know how to resolve your issues without going to bed angry.
Like don't let the sun set on your anger, pretty much.
Exactly.
Okay.
You talk about things. Wait for the appropriate time. Not when you are upset, your husband is upset. I think I did have a show previously, and I talked about, I did address this issue. In my own personal life,
Yes.
my late husband knows. He knows when I'm upset, I come to bed, do not get close to me.
Exactly, because you're upset.
So he had a structure. He came up with his own structure. Most of the time, he's not upset with me.
Yes.
It's more from the children. But I work at night. And so they go out and have fun whilst I'm sleeping. Okay? I don't know what their personal agreements are. But when the children don't do it, he feels like, oh, you told them not to do what I asked them to do.
Okay.
And most of the time, and all the time, not most, but all the time, I have nothing, no knowledge, not a bit about what happened whilst they were in the movies or went to the restaurant or went to places that they were having their own good times, and they will come in. I'm sleeping. But when I'm off, I'm busy in my house. I'm cleaning, I'm cooking, and I'll hear him come in and start talking, and he'll be angry. Most of the time, I don't know where the anger is coming from.
So misplaced aggression.
Yes.
Pretty much.
So I just keep on doing what I'm doing, and he'll be following me around. He'll be following me around, and I'm trying to catch what exactly his anger is about. So I'm just minding my business, and he's following me, talking. But when I finally get why he's angry, I walk to my bedroom. He will follow me. So when he comes in, then I'll explain myself. First of all, you are angry at an innocent woman. Whatever you are talking about, I have no knowledge of it. That's when he will finally come down and say, I am sorry.
Okay.
It didn't happen once, twice, a lot of times. So you have to have that conflict resolution.
So it sounds like you're being the bigger person a lot of times.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I'm being the bigger person. I think maturity has a lot to do with it.
Yes.
And I feel like I cannot disrespect my husband in front of my children. Okay? That's the last thing I ever want to do in my home. So what I do is walk into my bedroom. He will come. Because while he's talking, whichever direction I go, he's behind me. So that's when I'll explain myself. I got what you are saying.
Okay.
I have nothing to do with it. And he apologizes. We move on.
Okay.
The same way, I don't get angry. I'm not the type of person that gets angry easily. I just pay attention more to details. Okay, so most of the time in my home, we are not arguing about money. We are not arguing about anything between me and him. It's always about the children, the do's and the don't do's, which he thinks I am the one behind them, not doing what they need to do.
Okay. So from what I'm getting, you had like a pretty fairy tale experience. You had pretty much, you had that mental maturity of allowing him to calm down and come to you, and then you express your feelings and he understands. So typically from my experience or from our generation, it's typically not like that. It's typically the woman is going to respond. And yes, because there's no reason why you come from outside and you're angry about something and you take it out on me. Or let's say, like you said, you didn't have the problem of finances, but there is a financial problem and there's other problems. Everybody's going to be upset and on edge. And so if it was to be me and you're not providing and you're coming home and you're having a problem with me, I'm not going to give you sex. I'm not. And that's where it starts. And then if you're not getting sex from me, you're going to get it outside, and then the cheating starts and all that, and it's the bickering, and that's how the relationships break down. And again, with the maturity, because we are logical as men and women are emotional, and feel free to argue with me about that. You have to know how to talk to a man, and a man has to also know how to talk to a woman in order for the relationship to go on. Like women, in my experience in relationships I've had, I've taken the approach you've done, be the bigger person, but it doesn't always work like that. The man also has to have the mindset that, okay, I want this relationship to work, and therefore I'm going to also be open-minded and understand that I was wrong. And even though I don't want to admit it, or my manly pride won't let me admit it, I still have to allow the woman to show me her point of view, and I come with my point of view, and we move forward. A lot of times the men don't want to do that, and I am being biased because I am a woman, but it's easier for men to pick up and leave a relationship and start over than it is for women. We have the kids, we may not be able to work as much, or we're the so-called weaker sex. So women, it's maybe I lost my train of thought, but women, it gets frustrating at times. Men are able to just pick up and move on, pick up and go ahead. Women are stuck with the kids, stuck with the house, stuck with the bills, stuck with problems that, come with being a so-called emotional or weaker sex. And if as a woman you decide to think like a man or act like a man, you can also face repercussions because the world is just not designed like that. So there's a thin line between, trying to manage conflict, because we have to look at the bigger picture. Like, I don't know, am I talking too much? You want to drop in and say something?
I'm just.
I know I saw you kind of had some. You're trying to get in, and I just kept going. So
It's
yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
It's okay. Take your time. We are here. You are right about so many things, but the world don't work like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, women, we are emotional beings, and when we are not happy, we don't want sex.
Right.
That's a fact.
Yes, definitely.
A woman like me, experience have taught me so many lessons. And sometimes I ask myself, do I have to fall so many times to get it straight?
Yeah.
Okay. My late husband and myself, we have had experiences in marriage before we met. And I think that has a lot to do with the for better, for worse, till death do we part. I think it has a lot to do with that because he has his own personal experience. I do also. And it worked. Failure. If you don't learn from your mistakes, you continue to fail in life. Men are very prideful, mean beings. Okay? If you don't know how to respect a man, if you feel like you're going to be equal with a man, your relationship and marriage will fail. That's one. Secondly, it is critical that you learn each other. We are at a time and place where if you meet a man or a woman, you need to ask some questions to get to know that man. Courtship.
Not to cut you off. Please don't forget what you were saying. How long do you think should be an appropriate time to court or know someone? Because how long?
Actually, the white man says 6 months. 6 months.
Where are we? What?
6 months is the least. 1 year. I lived with my man for 3 years.
Prior to marriage.
Okay. He engaged me before 6 months.
Okay.
That's when I started sleeping with him. Okay? So it's up to the individual.
Yeah.
It's up to the individual. You have to learn your man or woman. Compatibility.
Yes.
Compatibility.
That is key.
If you don't court, how are you going to? If you're going to be wham, bam, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
When are you going to learn? And when are you going to grow with that person?
Exactly.
Okay? You don't know me, but you want sex from me.
Well, that's the story. That's the microwave relationship story.
I heard
today.
If you don't do that, you don't get married.
Nope.
Okay, let's not get married.
No. I've had plenty of people, even Christians, who subscribe to no sex before marriage. Basically, you need to test the product before you buy it, or
don't test. I'm not Asana. You know that drink back home they call Asana.
Asana, yes. I've heard Christians say that. Basically, don't test it. Basically, if you say you don't want, you don't want sex, I mean, the relationship can't progress. And this is even with
a man,
religious
who really wants you will not go there with you first.
Well, that is true. That is true.
But you need to take your time to get to know each other.
Yes.
You have to get to know each other. And courtship is the only time you spend time to get to know each other. Today, people are asking even about people's credit card because they have to.
Yeah, their financial well-being, yes.
Because finances is what is costing a lot.
Yes, I heard finances actually is higher than cheating, higher than infidelity as far as relationship breakdowns.
It brings a lot of annoyance and anger in a relationship. Lack of education, lack of good pay.
Good, right. Okay. So let's to bring everything full circle. Essentially, what are we saying we should look forward to or look at in resolving conflicts in relationships? Know the person, be more patient, have mental maturity. I mean, if you're not compatible, if it's not working, it's not working. Let the person go, essentially. Know who you're dealing with.
You cannot deprive a man from sex when you are married to that man.
When you are married to them, okay.
That is very, very, very important.
So even if you don't feel like it, you
have to. You have to.
What about your personal autonomy? Your body is yours.
Your body is yours. That's right. And because it's yours, that's why you are sharing that quality time with that person. And you have to let all the anger subside.
Subside and go. Okay. Well, thank you, viewers. We had an interesting chat. We had an interesting experience. And even though I don't agree with a lot of the things she said, but we're going to, keep on learning and working at it, obviously. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.